All right, people, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. It feels crazy saying that. I wanted to make this video back when the playlist got leaked, but I didn't have enough time. But today, I seen the Battle Hour trailer, and it made me want to make this video today. So, in my last video, I said something like, I don't think this game is going to be Xenoverse 3. And even though it is, I still feel the same way I felt in my last video. I don't think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be more like Dragon Ball Online than Xenoverse, if that makes any sense. So in this video, I want to talk about more things I would want to see in this new game. The first thing we have to start off with is the budget. I'm gonna freestyle this whole video, so stick with me. You may not know this, but anime video games don't get the same amount of money as a game like Grand Theft Auto or a Call of Duty or, you know, Assassin's Creed, games like that. So 2016, Xenoverse 2 dropped. I think the budget was like $50 to $80 million, and that's a AAA anime video game. But 3 years before that, GTA 5 dropped on the PS3. So think about that. Xenoverse 2 dropped 3 years later on the PS4. The budget was 50 to 80 million. Rewind back to 2013. GTA 5 comes out on the PS3. The budget for that was 265 million. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Anime games don't get that much money. So they say Sparking Zero had, I think, 150 to 200 million to make that game. Why? Because Tenkaichi 3, the developers had a little bit more leverage because of the games from back in the day. And I feel that Xenoverse might have that same leverage because of how well Xenoverse 1 and 2 sold. You know, they made probably close to $2 billion off of that game. And I was reading an article, someone said that in 2026, a AAA game should be 300 million or more, but at least 300 million. So what I'm hoping for with this game, before we talk about anything that should be added to this game, I'm hoping that they can at least get what Sparking Zero had or more. Because I'm thinking of Grand Theft Auto 6, the budget for that is 1 billion. That sounds crazy. The budget for that is 1 billion with a B to 2 billion with a B. Black Ops 7 that just released, well, it didn't just release, but you know, it released back in November. 700 million to make that game. So if we can at least get half of that, if we can get that 300 million, I'm hoping for that. And then everything I'm about to say could possibly happen. Now, the first thing we got to get straight to it. We need a better combat system. You know what I mean? We need anime/competitive hybrid combat engine. Combine arena freedom, cinematic impact, competitive depth. You know what I mean? Smooth mid-combo transformations, beam clashes, vanish wars, skill-based stamina, key management, combo canceling, counters, inspired by a game like Xenoverse, a game like Fighters, Raging Blast. You know what I mean? Not just button mashing, but real mechanics. The next thing we need is an open world. And I'm not talking an open dead world like Kakarot. I'm talking an open living Dragon Ball universe. Not a world, a universe. A persistent universe, like a shared world that's always active. You know what I mean? What kind of features can we have? Maybe multiple planets, Earth, Namek, Otherworld. Maybe add a day and night cycle. I like the way the night maps look in Sparking Zero. I mean, I guess I like the way they looked in Tenkaichi 3 too, but the way they look in Sparking Zero, they look nice. I know when I say Otherworld, you're thinking King Kai's planet. Nah, I'm thinking King Kai's planet. I'm thinking the land of the Kais. I'm thinking Snake Way. I'm thinking hell. I'm thinking the place where Pikkon and Goku fought in the Otherworld tournament. I'm thinking King Yama's area. I'm thinking the Grand Kai's place. Otherworld is pretty big. What else could we have? I mean, players flying around in real time, NPC battles happening naturally, dynamic events, random invasions, hidden encounters. What else? Environmental destruction. The world needs to feel alive, not just loading into missions or walking up to robots asking to do Quest 39. You're actually living in the world. That'd be lovely. And when I say NPC battles happening in real time or naturally, I mean something like Dragon Ball Online, where you're walking around fighting random shit like rabbits and wolves and dinosaurs and androids, and they had a lot of different kind of enemies in Dragon Ball Online. So you didn't have to just do the campaign or the parallel quest. You can just fly around and explore. We need something like that. I'm trying to see, where should I go from here? Maybe mentors? Let's talk mentors. I love that we had mentors in Xenoverse 1 and 2, but I just feel like things could be way better. Let's say when you have a mentor, your whole playstyle changes, right? Let's say Goku's your mentor. You get unique buffs and playstyles, exclusive transformations, and all type of shit, right? So Goku's your mentor. Your playstyle is like growth and adaptability. Vegeta's your mentor. Your playstyle is raw power and aggression. Piccolo's your mentor. You get I'm trying to think for Piccolo, strategy and defense. I'm just making shit up here. I just feel like no two players should feel the same, right? Mentors shouldn't just give you moves. They should change the entire way you play the game. And another thing, when it comes to mentors, we should have like living mentors. Like in Xenoverse 2, every mentor every mentor is in Kantan City standing shoulder to shoulder, right? If we're gonna have an open universe, mentors should just be all over. I can't even talk right now. The mentors should just be all over the place. Like Goku might be in the mountains, Vegeta might be in the gravity room, Beerus might be on his planet, right? The next time you see Goku, he might be at his house. Next time you see Vegeta, he might be in the mountains. Beerus might be at Bulma's house, right? Goku might call you and say, yo, there's an invasion in West City. Meet me there. You meet Goku, you do the invasion. After that, he gives you another move. You know what I mean? You shouldn't just pick mentors. You should have to find them too. Especially if the world is going to be as big as I need it to be. It'll be lovely. I'm telling you. But before I move on to the next, I don't know what I'm going to talk about next, but I want to say this. For this mentor shit, what was I trying to say? I feel like it was something important. Oh, yes. For each mentor, let us learn their combos or fighting style, right? And a bigger thing. Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Piccolo, Gohan. Characters that have multiple transformations and multiple moves, let them be our mentor for longer. Like in Xenoverse 2, when Vegeta's your mentor, he teaches you 4 things and then that's it. But you know, Vegeta has way more moves than what he's teaching you. Goku, he teaches you 4 things. Majin Buu, Fat Buu, Dodoria, Piccolo. Whoever's your mentor, let us learn their fighting style, their combos. But if Goku is my mentor, let him start off in base. Teach me everything he knows in his base form. I learn his combos or his fighting style after it's all over, right? Then the next time he calls me, now he's Super Saiyan. So now I'm learning more moves. And then I learn his fighting style from Super Saiyan. And then he's Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Ultra Instinct, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, so on and so forth. Vegeta, same thing. It's okay if Dodoria can only teach me 4 things. It's okay if Nail can only teach me 4 things, but for the people that have multiple transformations, allow them to be our mentor for longer, if that makes any sense. For this part right here, I'm not going to make too long, but it might be a little complicated because I want to talk about the races they should have in Xenoverse 3. In Dragon Ball Online, it took place in Age 1000, so they didn't have Saiyans, right? So Dragon Ball Online had humans, Namekians, and Majins. Xenoverse 3 should have humans, Majin, Frieza race, Namekians, androids, Kais, and the demon race. Now, if you want to add Saiyans just because, you can. But if you want to follow the lore of Dragon Ball Online, then there's no more Saiyans. Now, the humans could transform to Super Saiyans in Dragon Ball Online, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. But the new races should be androids, Kais, and the demon race. You know, like Deborah, or what's the dude that was with Goku and Daima? Glorio? Like those kind of characters. I guess that's all I really have to say about that. The next thing I want to mention is world bosses, right? I think I did mention world bosses, but I didn't explain how it should work. Let's just say you're flying around. There's other players on the map. You're not in Kantan City. You're in the open world, the open universe. Next thing you know, a boss just appears out of nowhere. A world boss. Like, it can be a Frieza's invasion. It can be a Broly rampage. It can be a Cell evolving mid-fight type of boss. And have it to where there's team-based mechanics, environmental destruction, boss phases. You know, something like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but with multiple players on a screen. So, you know, in Kakarot, when you fight Frieza, you get his health to a certain level, and then there's like a little cutscene that happens, and then he starts throwing like energy balls at you or energy beams at you, right? And then the fight continues, you get his health to another level, he starts throwing disc at you. You know what I mean? You get his health to another level, he starts trying to tackle you. I don't know, something like that. But imagine doing that with multiple people on your team trying to kick his ass. Make it feel like you're in a real war. Everybody's fighting him at the same time. That should be crazy. Now for this right here, I need y'all to let me know what y'all think about it. World tournaments, like live global world tournaments with real players, brackets, live matches, spectator mode. When players get eliminated, they can watch from a screen, or I think in Dragon Ball Online, when there's a world tournament going on, you can watch from the crowd. I think that'd be cool. And let's say there's not a global world tournament happening, like the season is over. You can still do offline tournaments. You just won't get anything from them. But unless you do like a private tournament where everyone's putting money up for it, I don't know. You can do whatever you want with that. But for actual seasonal world tournaments from the game, when you win, you get something exclusive that's not in the shops, not something you get from the campaign or parallel quest. You have to win the tournament to get this, so that way you can feel like you accomplished something, like you have something that no one else has, like maybe an outfit, maybe a special move, maybe some accessory that no one else has. And every season they switch it up. That'll be crazy, yo. Crazy. Now, I remember watching the live stream, right? When they were talking about Project Age 1000, or Xenoverse 3, we should call it now, right? I can't help but calling it Project Age 1000, but Xenoverse 3, when they were talking about it, they said this game will have more content than any Dragon Ball game from the past, right? And I said this in my last video where when you look at the trailer, they show a montage of all the games, like Xenoverse, Rage and Blast, Ultimate Tenkaichi, Battle of Z, Burst Limit, Kakarot, Fighters, like all these games, right? And when I think of content, I don't think of fighters. Like when you release characters as DLC, that's not content. That's not content to me. Sparking Zero, that's not enough content. I don't consider that content to me. What else? There's another game I'm thinking of. Fighters, Sparking Zero. I believe that's all. I know there's probably another one that I'm missing. Fighters, Sparking Zero. I guess that's really it. I don't consider that content, like maps and new characters. That's not content to me. But when it comes to Kakarot and Xenoverse 2, those games are what you call content, right? Xenoverse 2 has about 17 DLC packs that adds quests, mentors, items, all type of shit, right? Kakarot, when you play a new DLC from Kakarot, it's like a whole new world. The Daima shit, you're at the demon realm, flying around, doing quests, doing side missions, shit like that. The Bardock DLC, I talked about this in my last video. In the Bardock DLC, that is the first time we ever seen Planet Vegeta like that. Like we never seen it in the anime or manga the way we seen it in Kakarot. So those two games I consider actual content, having actual content. So if this game is going to have more content than those two games, why not add a Battle Royale mode? But in order to do this, they have to do it right. I think we need a map, a planet specifically designed for Battle Royale. So we don't have this problem. You know, in Xenoverse 2, when you do raids, when I play raids anyway, all I see is motherfuckers powering up to do their ultimate and powering up to do their ultimate and then powering up again to do their ultimate. And you know what? After that, they power up again to do their ultimate. We can't have that in Battle Royale. So I think this planet, this map planet needs to be specifically designed to limit health, ki, and armor. So let's say you land. Everyone's in a space pod, you know, the little what do you call them? Saiyan pods or whatever. Those pods, right? You have a jump leader. He can control where everyone's gonna land. You land, boom. First thing you have is only punches, kicks, and ki blast. You can loot. You loot boxes or crates for capsules. The capsules are moves. So you can have Kamehameha Wave, Gallic Gun. You can have supers, ultimates, evasive moves, right? If you don't like something you picked up, you can drop it, kind of like weapons in Call of Duty or Battlefield. If your teammates don't like something, they could drop it for you. If you're running out of armor, your teammates can drop some. What else? I told you I'm freestyling this whole shit, but what am I trying to say? Even though health, ki, and armor is limited, you can get a bigger health bar, a bigger armor bar, a bigger ki bar, but everything is still limited. Make sure you add little events all around this planet. Like, let's say Nappa comes in with Cybermen. You fly there. There might be other squads trying to beat him too, kind of like Genshin Squadra, but not exactly like that. We need a bigger map. We need a bigger map than Kakarot. Even though, like, when I think of Kakarot, if you combine all areas, that map is big. But I think we need a bigger map than that. Because in Genshin Squadra, when a little event happens on the map, everyone can get there in like 10 seconds, right? So we can't have that because in this game, there's probably going to be 150 players on the map. So we need this map to be way bigger than that, way bigger than Kakarot. Kakarot is big, but I don't think it's big enough for 150 players. So have little events all over the map. Nappa comes in with the Cybermen. You fly over there. There might be another 2 squads that fly over there. Y'all got to fight it out. Whoever wins, I mean, you still got to deal with Nappa too. He's not just going to sit there and watch you fight. So you got to deal with Nappa, the Cybermen, and the other squads at the same time, right? Whoever wins get to fight Nappa. Nappa's health might even be low because he's not watching, like I said. Now, when Nappa dies, you can pick up, he drops something rare, like something that you can't pick up when you're looting crates, right? Like a special attack that you can't find in a crate. If another squad beats Nappa and the Cybermen before you do, you kill them, you can loot their body and pick up whatever it is that Nappa dropped for them, or for whatever it is that he dropped. You know what I mean? Now, you do that, you might run into another event. Frieza might come, Cell might come with the Cell Juniors, a whole bunch of different events happen all over the map. The map is getting smaller, right? Erased. So that way you just see nothing but pitch black behind you, right? Like Zeno is erasing this shit. I don't know. You don't have to worry about gas. You just have to worry about staying inside the map, because if you go in the blackness, you die. Right? There's no coming out of it like gas and fire. You die. What else am I trying to say here? Freestyling this shit. Okay, I got it. In the middle of the match, you can get a loadout. The loadout drops out of the sky. It's like a fucking, like some big ass capsule corp shit drops out of the sky. You open it, it's your loadout. Your loadout is whatever you have on your character when you're doing like when you're out in the world doing your regular shit. Whatever moves you have on your character is what your loadout is, right? But it doesn't change the fact that health, ki, and armor is still limited. It doesn't matter if you have your fucking loadout or not. Everything is still limited. Add a little mechanic to where you can possibly leave with the 7 Dragon Balls. If not, you still win. Like the last squad that survives wins, but make it possible to leave with 7 Dragon Balls so you can make a wish. But if you don't, you might have 2 Dragon Balls if it's not enough. You didn't get all 7, so you win, but you don't get to make that wish once you leave. That'll be crazy. Let me know what y'all think about that. I'm freestyling all this shit, but I think a Battle Royale mode would be kind of cool. And to add on to that, I think the Battle Royale mode should be free to play. Just like Call of Duty has Warzone, Battlefield has RedSec. So that way, some people can't afford to buy video games right on the spot. So that'd be cool to let people play some type of mode in the game for free, right? But when it comes to free-to-play players, they can't get all the moves that we have. The moves that we get from quest and campaign shit. There's certain moves that they won't be able to use because they don't have the actual game. But for them, for everyone, there should be moves in Battle Royale that you can't get unless you play Battle Royale. So it'll make people that have the actual game want to play Battle Royale, and it'll make the people that are free to play want to get the actual game. You know what I mean? And if you want to add like skins for the clothes you put on, and shit that costs actual money so you can get your money back. I know the developers and publishers they're all about money. So if you want to add skins to get your money back, skins for armor, skins for change the color of your beam. I don't fucking know how it'll work. But you can do that too. I might not buy any, but I just might buy some because I play Marvel Rivals and I buy skins all the time. So we'll see. I guess it'll be kind of crazy to get like a new hairstyle from Battle Royale that you can't get in the actual game. So like I said, we'll see. I can talk about this Battle Royale mode for days, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think should be added in the comments, right? Because another thing I thought of was the looting system, right? What if you don't want to fight in one of these events? Like, what if you don't want to fight Nappa or Frieza in one of these events that pop up on the map? Maybe they can add like some hidden areas, or not hidden, but like high loot areas, or hidden, whatever. Either way, you're going to run into some squads because there's going to be other people that don't want to fight in these events either. They just want to loot, but there's going to be people no matter where you go. But I think they should add things like that. And back to the free-to-play players, I thought of something else. I'm not saying that you can't use the moves that we use. I'm saying that when you're looting, you can pick up whatever moves are available. You know, in Xenoverse 2, there's 500 or more moves in the game, including supers, ultimates, evasives, the dual ultimates. There's 500 of those, right? In Battle Royale, I don't think you should add all 500 to the map. I think you should add a few at a time, maybe 50 to 100, maybe not even that much. Just a few at a time. Every season, you take some out, you put some in, you nerf some shit, you buff some shit, and do it that way. But back to the free-to-play players. What I'm saying is, you can use whatever moves they add to the map at the time. It might be moves that you can't use in your loadout, but you can use it when you're looting and picking up moves and shit, and capsules, whatever. But when it comes to that loadout, you can't pick from shit that you don't have because you don't have the game. I don't know if I made it I don't know if I made it any more clear for you, but that's what I'm trying to say. You make your character, you make a loadout, you choose from the limited amount of moves that are available for free-to-play players, unless you buy the full game. Then when you buy the full game, you can play the campaign, parallel quests, raids, this, that, and add to your loadout. Cool? Cool. So it's possible that you might not even want your loadout because the moves that you can pick up on the ground might be better than anything you can add to your loadout. But like I said earlier, I think that the Battle Royale mode should add hairstyles, armor, skills, moves that you can learn in Battle Royale that you can't learn in the paid version. So that way you have to play Battle Royale. Not have to, but it'll make you want to. You know what I mean? Now, I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but when you think about it, I'm really not. Everything I'm asking for is based on everything we know. The only thing we don't know is if this game is officially Xenoverse 3. But they officially leaked the playlist that says Xenoverse 3, so we do know that. Now, the rumor about the game only being on the newer generation consoles only, it's only a rumor. But when you think about Sparking Zero, when you think about the new My Hero game that released, both of those games were on the new generation consoles only, so that rumor is believable. Now, they've been working on this game for 6 or 7 years, right? By the time we get it, it'll be 7 to 8 years that they've been working on this game. So when you think about Xenoverse 1 that released in 2015, the modes we had universe mode, which is story mode. We had parallel quests. We had world tournaments, and we had online battles. That was it for the modes. Mentors, we had 12. Parallel quests, we had 55. Right? That was it. Now, 1 year later, Xenoverse 2 releases, 2016. For the modes, we had story mode, parallel quests. We had expert missions, training mode, online battles, world tournament, crystal raid battles, Hero Coliseum, cross versus. We had the Kantan City voting events, right? We have 184 parallel quests compared to the 55 in Xenoverse 1. We have 32 mentors compared to the 12 in Xenoverse 1, right? We have Kantan City, which is 7 times bigger than Toki Toki City. And they added all this shit in 1 year. Like I said, Xenoverse 1 released in 2015, Xenoverse 2 released in 2016. So could you imagine what they could do with 6 or 7 years? With 5 or 6 times the budget? I don't think it'd be hard. I mean, it might be some work, but I don't think it's impossible for them to add everything I'm talking about. And I'm not saying, that's the funny part, I'm not saying that they need to add this shit on day one, because the Hero Coliseum mode didn't even release until 2017. So it came out the next year after Xenoverse 2 released, right? So for the Battle Royale mode, they don't have to release that shit on day one. They could release it 6 months to a year after. And then the next mode I want to talk about, they can release that the following year. And this mode that I speak of is an extraction mode. Yeah. So I'm trying my hardest not to make this video so long, but I can feel that it's not going to work out that way, and I'm cool with it. But before we talk about the extraction mode, I wanted to bring up a game that everyone's playing right now, Crimson Desert. I can't stop playing it. I'm having a fucking blast. I don't know how I'm gonna platinum that game, but I'll figure it out, right? But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because Crimson Desert had the same development time as Xenoverse 3, 6 to 7 years. The difference between the two is Pearl Abyss, or, you know, the developers of Crimson Desert, had to start from scratch. They had to build the world, the setting, the characters, the weapons, the armor, everything from scratch. Xenoverse, or Dimps, whoever's creating Xenoverse 3, won't have that problem because they have a whole universe to pull from. You know what I mean? They can pull from this timeline, this universe, this character, this setting, this move, this armor set. You know what I mean? There's so much they can pull from, even other games like Sparking Zero, Battle of Z, Ultimate Tenkaichi. Did I say Kakarot? I think I did. Either way, they have so much to pull from. They don't have to waste years on a story or characters. So they can use all of that extra time for gameplay and new modes like this. You see what I mean? Oh, and if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you now. The budget for Crimson Desert was $130 million. So take what you want to take from that. And now for the moment you all been waiting for, let's talk about this extraction mode. Picture a game like Warframe mixed with a little Arc Raiders, mixed with a little Dragon Ball. In the main game, I think in Kantan City, or whatever this new hub world will be called, we should have a research lab, right? And in this lab, you can craft gear. This gear you can only get from playing the extraction mode. I think in Xenoverse 3, gear should be more, how do I say this? Because in Xenoverse 2, you may not know this, but everything you put on actually matters when it comes to your stats, right? So it should be more known in Xenoverse 3. We should have like rarity when it comes to gear, right? So this research lab should allow you to craft gear that you get when you play the extraction mode. So let's say when you're doing parallel quests, you can get gear, right? You can get boots, gloves, chest piece, leg pieces, earrings, scouters, all that kind of shit, right? Gray, green, blue, purple, gold, red. Those are all the rarities, right? But let's say you can only get the purple version of this Goku gear from the extraction mode, right? Now, you go to a planet. This is the reason I said a game like Warframe. Because Warframe, when that game first came out, there was like 7 or 8 planets that you can go to. And each planet had its own set of material and items that you can only find on certain planets, right? So I think Xenoverse 3 should have something like that, where maybe the game starts off with a few planets, and then as the game updates, more seasons, we get more planets. Warframe has about 19 locations now. It started off with 7 or 8, right? You go to a planet. You have 30 minutes to extract. You can go to that planet. You find a blueprint. You find materials. Like, let's say you get a blueprint for some gloves. You have to extract with whatever you find. If you don't, you lose it all. If someone kills you, you lose it all. If you die from a boss, you lose it all. If you kill someone, you can take all their shit, right? But let's say you extract with the blueprint. Once you extract with the blueprint, you can look at the blueprint. It'll say you need this material, and this material to be able to craft this, the gloves, right? You go to whatever planet you need to go to. When you hover over the planets, it'll say this material is found here, this material is found here. So you go to whatever planet you need to go to. Different enemies drop different material. You fight a boss, he might drop the, you fight a boss, he might drop the main thing you need, or he might not. There's a chance. That's how Warframe is. There's a chance that they might drop what you need, and they might not. The same rules in Battle Royale applies to the extraction mode. So health, key, armor is all limited. Do I have anything else more to say? Nah, I believe that was everything. I just feel that when it comes to the planets, I think certain planets should be made for campaign, parallel quests, raids, and shit like that. And certain planets should be made for the extraction mode. Because if you think about it, there's really 30-something planets that they can take from. Even though some of the planets we never seen like the full planet. But when you look at Kakarot and Planet Vegeta, like, we seen more Planet Vegeta than we ever seen. I said this already. I said this plenty of times. We never seen Planet Vegeta the way we seen it in Kakarot. So they can do the same thing with all these other planets that we've seen pieces of. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what y'all think. Like, if y'all think they should add more shit to this, I'm freestyling right now and I'm just shit, it sounded good to me. But let me know what y'all think. And I'm gonna say it again. I know it sounds like I'm asking for a lot, but I'm really not. You have to look at it this way. The way they release games these days, it takes 5 to 6 years, sometimes 10, sometimes 13 years to release a fucking game, right? I'm 38 years old. By the time this game releases, I'll be 39. So if they release another game after this one, I'll be 50. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Hopefully I'm alive when the next game comes out. Hopefully my fucking hands work when the next game comes out. I'll give you another example. Grand Theft Auto 5 released in 2013. My son was born in 2013. My son is 13 years old right now, and we still don't have GTA 6. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So if you want us to play this game for 10 more years, you have to come with some new mode. You have to come with something new. Like, will you be satisfied if this game had better graphics, but the gameplay was still the same? The netcode was still the same? I would not be too fucking thrilled if I had to play that for the next 10 years. And that's the reason why I didn't play Xenoverse 2 for too long. I beat the story mode. I played a few quests. I did a few raids. I played the Hero Coliseum shit when it came out the following year, and I left it alone. The reason why is because Xenoverse 2 felt like DLC to me. It felt like one big DLC pack. Yes, they added way more quests and raids than Xenoverse 1, but the graphics were still the same. The netcode was still the same. The way you create your character was still the same. I don't even think they added any more new hairstyles or nothing. So I can't see myself playing that game with better graphics again for 10 years. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying this game needs to be an MMO, but open world, yes. Battle Royale, yes. Extraction mode, please. And I think we'll be good for years if you can do something like that, especially if the budget is where it needs to be. But anyways, let's slow things down and talk about parallel quests. In this game, I think it should be more like Dragon Ball Online, where the parallel quests are integrated with the open world, the open universe. Instead of menus, rifts Well, parallel quests, you know, in Dragon Ball Online, the parallel quests were called time rifts. But in this game, I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with parallel quests. So they should be integrated into the open world. You fly around, you might see a parallel quest. You go up to the parallel quest. You can either start it or leave it alone. If you leave it alone, the quest will be in your menu, like your personal menu. You press start or options. You can see what quest you have. You can fast travel or fly there. Right? Now, when it comes to co-op, I think the co-op should just happen naturally. Like, if you have no team with you, players can just join instantly. Right? I think there was something important I wanted to say. Make the quests feel like events, right? Branching outcomes. Let's say you might have to save Goku. If you save Goku, you get a different ending. If you let him lose, you get an alternate timeline. If you interfere too late, you get an unexpected outcome. I'm just freestyling right now, right? But the replay value will go crazy. Let's have some real objectives, not just defeat everybody. Let's mix it up. Protect characters, survive waves, stop a transformation from happening, race against the time. You know what I mean? Scale the difficulty, more players, stronger enemies, smarter AI, new attack patterns, shit like that. No more brain dead fights, unique rewards, and give players a real reason to want to replay it. You know what I mean? Mini story arcs that change depending on what you do. I guess this is a perfect time to bring up the campaign. I don't have no say in that. Like, whatever story direction you want to go in, be my guest. The only thing I ask for is for you to make it co-op right from the start. The reason why I'm saying that is a few weeks ago, me and my brother started playing Xenoverse 2 on the PS5. It was like a few weeks ago, right before Crimson Desert released. And we did a few parallel quests. And you know, the harder parallel quests unlock later on when you get more into the campaign. So I'm like, yo, we ain't never gonna play with each other if we gotta beat the whole campaign to get to these harder quests. So we stopped playing. Fuck it. So I think the story should be co-op right from the start. When there's cutscenes, show all players that are playing in the cutscene. Make it feel like, you know what I mean? Don't just show my character when I know I'm playing with someone else. Right? That's all I ask. For the story, like for the actual story, you can do whatever you want to do. I just know based on the DLC that's releasing now for Xenoverse 2, they're showing Few. I think Few is how you pronounce it. They're showing him a lot. And he's known for being in Dragon Ball Heroes. And that's another thing I want to say really quick. Is for the mentors. I know I talked about the mentors already, but I think instead of 32 mentors, we need about 202 mentors because Dragon Ball Heroes has a lot of characters. And I just watched an interview, I think it was yesterday. Either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I watched an interview with the dude, you know, the producer that makes the Xenoverse 2 games. I guess this guy is the producer for every Dragon Ball game that comes out of Bandai Namco now. But you know, the face of Dimps. I said this shit in my last video too. But he said Dragon Ball Heroes is a part of Xenoverse 2. Like, it's the same universe.
I can't wait to hear more about it. I can't wait to play it myself. One thing I did notice when we were watching the video, it has a resemblance to Xenoverse. Is there a link between Xenoverse and this game? And if I've never played Xenoverse, can I still enjoy it?
そうですね。ちょっと前提の情報としては、ゼノバースもそして実はヒローズも実はさっきゼノバースというかですね、タイムパトローラーの場所になってるんですけども、タイムパトローラーっていう実は設定というかですね、その世界観っていうのは実は両方とも共有はしていまして。
So, if Dragon Ball Heroes is in the same universe as Xenoverse, There's so many mentors we could have. There's like a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. There's like Xeno Goku, Xeno Vegeta, the Xeno Trunks. He can go Super Saiyan 3. He can go Super Saiyan God. We got the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. Who else? Super Saiyan 4 Broly. Hearts. What was that other dude name? Damn, I can't think of his name. Cumber, I think. There's so many characters. So many. So for the mentors, we can have a lot. But like I said, for the story, you can do whatever you want to do. They're showing the dude Fu, I don't know how you pronounce his name. They're showing him a lot. And the crazy thing to me is Fu was mentioned in the Dragon Ball Online lore, but they made it seem like he was a baby. So how the fuck is he a baby in age 1000, but in the Xenoverse timeline, I don't know if he's a teenager or like a full adult. Time in Dragon Ball is a tricky thing. That's all I can say. Now, before we get to the last section of the video, I want to test your brain. I want to see if your brain works the same way mine is working right now. Check this out. I'm thinking about the way Xenoverse 1 and 2 was advertised, or, the way they promoted the game. Anytime they promoted or advertised, what were they saying? We're saving histories, protecting the time, shit like that, right? They never advertised a new world, new characters. Like, we got the red hair saying, we got the blue hair saying, but we all know those were just created characters. They never made those characters seem that important. Even in the like when you played the game, they showed up in cutscenes, but they were not a big deal. Right? So, I mean, I guess we got Toa, Mira, Demigra. I don't know how you say his name, but even those characters are from Dragon Ball Online, so they're not new. But when you look at this Dragon Ball, you can go to it right now. Dragon Ball Games, the official Dragon Ball Games Twitter or X account. The post that they have pinned, it says, announcing a new Dragon Ball game. Project Age 1000, set for 2027. A new world and new characters brought to life by Akira Toriyama. They never did anything like this when Xenoverse 1 and 2 were coming out. They didn't mention Akira Toriyama like that. They didn't mention new characters. They definitely didn't mention a new world. So when you hear a new world, doesn't that make you feel like this game is going to be open world? Let me know, like, are we thinking the same? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments, please. Because the way my brain works, Toki Toki City is a city. Kantan City is a city. Why mention a new world if we're just going to be in another city? You know what I mean? Maybe it's just the way my brain works. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about the final thing, the most important thing, the netcode. You know, when you feel like you threw that punch and it didn't connect, the netcode fucked it up. You know, when you thought you dodged that kick or that beam, but you didn't, you still got hit, the netcode. The netcode, the netcode, the motherfucking netcode. Check this out. If you don't know, Xenoverse 1 and 2. Well, I don't know about Xenoverse 1. I'm not too sure about that. But Xenoverse 2 had a hybrid server, which means when you're walking around Kantan City, you're connected to a dedicated server. But once you start an online match or the world tournament or a parallel quest or a fucking raid, it turns into a P2P, peer-to-peer server, which means I might be the host, you might be the host. Your connection might be bad, my connection might be good. Both of our connections might be lovely, but we're on two different sides of the fucking world, so the connection still ain't working out for us, right? That's why we need dedicated servers for everything, not just for walking around the hub world. right? The dedicated servers take care of the heavy lifting. You just have to have a decent connection. That's it. I didn't want to make this part too long because there's nothing really crazy to talk about. We need dedicated servers. Simple, right? I know there's other little things I wanted to mention, like adding prox chat to the Battle Royale mode, adding prox chat to the extraction mode. It makes the game fun. It makes you want to play more, right? I think Battlefield fucked up by not adding prox chat, but who am I? But what I'm trying to say here is I'm talking to Bandai Namco now. And Dimps, you have to think Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming, right? When it comes to open world. So you need an open world game to keep people away from Grand Theft Auto 6. You're not going to keep me away. You know what I mean? You're not going to keep me away from Grand Theft Auto 6, but I'm just saying, you might make me play Xenoverse 3 a little longer if you had an open world, right? When it comes to Battle Royale, Battlefield is here to stay. Warzone is here to stay, even though people are not playing it as much. Fortnite isn't going anywhere. I don't know if people still play PUBG, but it's here, right? You need a mode. You need a Battle Royale mode to keep people away from Fortnite, Warzone, Battlefield, right? Or they're going to go play Fortnite, Battlefield, or Warzone. When it comes to an extraction mode, Arc Raiders is here to stay. Marathon is here now. You know what I mean? So you need something to keep players playing your game. Keep them away from Marathon and Arc Raiders by adding your own extraction mode. You see what I'm trying to say? But I believe I might be done here. The last thing I need is for Afro Senju or Rhyme Style or like one of these bigger YouTubers to talk to Bandai Namco and ask them what the budget is. Because if I can find that out, then I'll know what kind of game we're going to have. So share this shit with them motherfuckers, with the bigger YouTubers, and let's try to find out that budget. Because everything I talked about in this video means nothing without 300 mil or more. But I'm going to end it here, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. If you did not, I don't give a damn. But I'm out of here. You know what? Fuck that. I'm not done. I'm not done. Transformations, we need Super Saiyan 4. We need Super Saiyan Rose. We need 150 more hairstyles. I'm not concerned about how the hair is going to work when we transform, because as you can see in the teaser trailer, the hair will change when you transform. So I'm not concerned about that, but we do need 1 million more hairstyles. When it comes to all classes, in Xenoverse 2, everyone can use Kaioken. Everyone can use Unlock Potential. We need more transformations like that for all classes. Maybe Babidi can be our mentor, and we can learn the Majin transformation where we have the M on the forehead, right? Maybe we can have the God of Destruction transformation like Topo or Tapo, however you pronounce his name. When it comes to the mentors, I think that, no, not even mentors, transformations. When we transform, whatever mentor we have, let's say Goku's my mentor and I finished every mentor mission. Vegeta's my mentor, I finished every mentor mission. Piccolo, I finished all of his missions, so now I have all of their fighting styles. When I transform, I should be able to pick my fighting style for each transformation. So if I completed all of Goku's, Vegeta's, Piccolo's mentor missions, for Super Saiyan 1, I can fight as Goku. Super Saiyan 2, I might want to fight as Vegeta. Base form, I might want to fight like Gohan. In each transformation, I should be able to put different supers and ultimates on each transformation. Let me know what y'all think about that. The last thing I want to add is a mode that I forgot that was in Dragon Ball Online. I just don't know the name of it, but think of the Buu Saga, right? You remember when they went to see Babidi, and Babidi had his little spaceship, and he had the little platform you could step on, and that platform can teleport you to any planet, anywhere in the universe. They had something like that in Dragon Ball Online, but I can't remember how many floors there were. I don't know if it was 50 or 150, but either way, the mode looked kind of fun. You step on a platform, you might be in the mountains, right? You beat up the dinosaurs, 2 big ass dinosaurs come out at the end, or maybe 1. You kick his ass, that floor is over. Now you get teleported to another part of the world. You gotta fight Cybermen, and at the end, you gotta fight a big ass Cyberman. Now that floor is done. You get transported to another part of the universe or the world. You have to fight, I don't know, maybe Bardock. You kick his ass. Now you get, there's like I believe it was 150 floors. I can't remember right now. It was either, it had to be 150. Either 150 or 50. Either way, I think we need a mode like that. If, you know, if there's room. I would rather the Battle Royale and the extraction mode, but if you have room to add that, since we already had it in Dragon Ball Online, please add that. And I think I'm going to end it here.